This lens is one of Canon's first RF ultra-wide lenses. It's not cheap, it's not new anymore, and when it first came out, a lot of people actually questioned whether or not it was worth the price and upgrading to it and all that stuff, but I've been using it for a few years now. This is my go-to lens. This is my most used lens for both photo and video, for studio shots, and for an all-around lens when I'm out. And today I'm going to talk about why the RF 15 to 35mm f2.8 is still one of the most versatile lenses that you can have in your kit. And if you shoot on a different brand of camera, they all have something similar to the 15 to 35mm range of lens. You might have a 10 to 14, a 16 to 35. Imagine this, you finally move to a mirrorless camera, or you're looking for a new lens to add to your kit. You're exploring RF lens lineup through wide angle lenses, wide enough for landscapes, wide enough for YouTube videos, wide enough for handheld filming, but still sharp and professional. That's exactly where this lens comes in. When Canon launched the RF system, they didn't just release new cameras and everything, they also released a whole new lineup of lenses in that RF series. And that meant a go-to ultra-wide option for creators and photographers. The RF 15 to 35mm replaced the classic DSLR favorite, that 16 to 35 f2.8 lens, and I use that 16 to 35 pretty much all the time. But this lens added something new, a slight bit wider, added image stabilization in the lens, and that made a huge difference for video creators and run and gun shooters. All this footage was shot on this lens. Wide landscape shots, handheld video clips, studio setups, photos outdoors, no crazy tricks, just the lens doing what it does best, capturing a wide perspective. Now let's talk about the strengths of this lens. First, the focal length. 15mm is pretty wide. It gives a huge field of view. We're talking action camera field of view. This is the DJI Action 5 Pro at 155 degrees, and this is the 15mm, which is perfect for things like landscapes, architecture, travel photography, YouTube talking head videos. If you're in a small room or small studio space, having that extra width makes a big difference. You don't feel cramped in the frame, it gives you some breathing space. And second, being an L series lens, you get that constant f2.8 aperture. That means the aperture stays the same through the entire zoom range, from 15 all the way to 35. And that's great for two reasons. First, you have low light. You can shoot indoors, at sunset, at blue hour, without pushing your ISO too high. And the second is the background separation. Now obviously 2.8 isn't crazy background blur or separation or bokeh, whatever you want to call it. And being a wide angle lens, it's not going to separate the background out like you would with the 70 to 200. But at f2.8, you can still get some really nice depth of field in your shots, especially when your subject is closer to the camera and you have some more background depth. And the third thing is image stabilization. This lens has optical image stabilization built in, which is huge for video. If you're filming handheld or walking with the camera, that stabilization really helps smooth out your footage, especially when paired with cameras that also have IBIS or digital stabilization built in. And for creators filming solo, that makes a huge difference. All right, then there's the image quality from this lens. This lens is sharp, even wide open at f2.8. Edge-to-edge detail looks great, which is important for landscape or product photography. The colors look great, the contrast looks great, and overall it just has that premium Canon look and feel to it. Now let's talk about a few of the possible downsides to this lens, because no lens is perfect. The first off is obviously the price. This is an L series lens. L series lenses are not cheap. If you're just starting out, this lens might be more than you need. There are definitely cheaper wide angle options available. And the second thing is the size and weight of this lens. It's not huge, but it's also not small. Especially when you're mounting this on a smaller mirrorless body. If you're building a lightweight travel kit, that is something to consider with this lens. You might just want a 16mm or a 10mm if you want a smaller wide lens. Those are much smaller lenses that are going to create a much smaller and compact camera setup for you. The third thing is the distortion. Being a wide angle lens like this at 15mm, you will see a little bit of distortion if you're looking for it. It's not real noticeable, but that is normal for wide lenses like this. The lines can bend at the edges, but honestly, most modern cameras will correct this automatically. In real world shooting, it's rarely a problem. Alright, this is all the way out at 15mm on this lens. Let me turn off the stabilization. Alright, now this is without the stabilization. You'll notice if I put the corner up here, like up in the edge of the lens, it kind of warps it just a little bit. Just right around this area right here. Just kind of warps it just a little bit, but you're going to get that with any wide angle lens. Now you're probably wondering who this lens is really for. It's for creators like me, people like you, filming YouTube videos, people who want a wide perspective for storytelling and vlogging. It's great for photography, for wide landscapes, for real estate photography, and travel photography. It's also great for hybrid shooters who do both photo and video shooting because you get 24 and 35. You're not limited just to being 15mm. Now, who might not need this lens? Obviously, if you're shooting portraits, you're going to want a longer focal range. If you shoot nature photography, you prefer telephoto lenses, or you rarely shoot wide angle shots, there might be better options for your needs than a wide angle lens. But if you like wide perspectives, if you like capturing wide environments, you want that lens that can handle both photo and video. If you want an all-around everyday lens for video creation, this one is hard to beat. At the end of the day, gear is just a tool, but the right tool can make creating a lot more enjoyable. And for me, this lens has been one of those tools that stays on my camera probably 97% of the time. It's versatile, it's reliable, it's fun to use, and literally doesn't leave my camera that often. Alright, that's it for this video. If you've been considering the RF 15 to 35mm, hopefully this give you a better idea of what it's like to actually use it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.